9 years old playing with fire. Everybody told me to stop. I was super rebellious. And a friend of mine, I don't know how he found this bottle of gasoline, but I just came up with the idea, let me pour it into the fire. And when I did that, I backed up and suddenly my I was torched on fire. So I just started running. I didn't know what to do. I knew there was a bucket, like a big tank full of water. And I'm looking at myself and all I see is skin melting like wax off of my arms. 70% of my body is burnt on fire. The only thing that came up to my mind was, God forgive me. I do not want to die. Every time anybody asks me, Jordan, are you okay? Are you okay? I'm like, yes, I'm okay. Very positive. Everything was like, yes, yes, yes. There was no doubt. That's why it's very important when you have faith of as small as a mustard seed, you can move mountains. Is very true, because at that time, I don't remember one moment where I was like, I'm going to die.
What is going on, guys? Lucas Jensen here with the Forward Thinking Podcast. I got my good friends, Jordan and Meghan Martinez with Putnam Coastal Painting out of Maine with me today. We just spent like probably the last 30, 40 minutes just chopping it up because Jordan and Meghan are just such genuine and great people, and I could talk to them all day. And they have a tremendous story. They've built an incredible business, doing 7 figures, scaling it, going on, and doing some incredible things, building houses, growing the family. They're just great people all around. I'm super excited for this one because they have a lot of value, but they also have some tremendous stories and everything like that. So Jordan, Meghan, happy to have you guys here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
And I'm happy to see the Ford Media Millionaire Club behind you guys. I love that.
Yeah, no.
I love that. How was it bringing it home? Were you guys able to fit it in your suitcase, or did you have to ship it?
I held it the whole time.
Did you?
Yeah.
Everybody saw us with it.
Let's go. You're sitting on the plane. It was on your lap. You had your seatbelt above it.
We didn't want to let it go.
Yeah.
I love it. No, but you guys are incredible. I mean, we've been working together for 2 years now.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
2 years now, and your growth has been insane. I mean, I remember we were talking about it during the summer, where before we got started, we sent like a questionnaire, like, what are your 6-month goals, your 1-year goals, your 3-year goals, and you guys have just been smashing them way ahead of time, and that's just a testament to you guys as leaders and business owners. And you guys came to PaintCon, which was awesome, because I think that was our first time we ever met in person.
Yes, it was.
I love it.
I didn't want to let that moment go.
No, me too, man. And that's why I'm rocking the shirt, dude. I haven't taken it off since PaintCon.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but you guys are incredible, and I'm grateful to have you here. And you guys got a lot of big things going on. I know you got the rebrand we're talking about. So what pushed you guys to do the rebrand in the first place?
Because when we first started, we just put our name on our, we needed some business shirts, and I was doing everything. So that was what I came up with. And then as work, we started flowing, and we started to build a brand. I knew my vision was, I've always been on the coast. I've always been on the ocean. And when we started Putnam Coastal Painting, I knew eventually when I designed this that I wanted it to represent something about the coast. So that's how I came up with it. And I think it's going to look beautiful. I just got a couple new trucks.
Looks amazing.
And we're going to put this in the back end of it. So
I love it. I love it. And how did you guys come across the name Putnam Coastal Painting? Like, where did that name come from?
Well, it was my idea because, like, Meghan's family, they're really good with their hands. They're very creative. They have a lot of stories to tell about their experience being in the field doing labor. So I was very inspired by her family. They've been my number one support in my life. And I heard her grandfather's story, how he just, came here in a boat from Italy. And I had a lot to relate with, from my ancestors and what they went through. So I was like, wow, why not just use the last name Putnam? Like, why don't we just put that on the map? And that was, that was it right there. That was the blessing we had to use that name.
So,
Okay,
so
so
Putnam is not an Italian name. That's from my dad's father, which is English. But my all my uncles in my family, they're very good with, like he said, they're very good with their hands. They
Really
know how
good.
to do everything. If I don't know how to do something, I call them. How do I do this? How do I do that? Anything. It could be plumbing. It could be anything. So
Like even her father. Like it's just amazing how they're just craftsmen, you know, like if furniture breaks or anything, he's right there to fix it.
I love it.
They could do magic with their hands.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, look, my girlfriend Christina, her dad, like he's all about the renovation side. Like dude, he could like do just about anything when it comes to renovations. Like it's incredible. I mean, Christina's hair salon, he helped a ton with the renovations of that. Like it's incredible, and it's such a craft because like you give me a screwdriver and a plate to put a light switch on, dude, I'm lost cause. I'm lost cause. You know, like it's really its own craft, and that's incredible. So here in Montreal, a lot of Italians that came over moved into brick. For some reason, there's this attraction with brick. Was that what your family did, Meg? Was there like
yes.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, so
okay,
my great grandfather is the one who came through Ellis Island, but he was a mason, and he actually built a lot of walls, and a lot of different things in Worcester, Massachusetts, that are still there to this day.
wow, that's cool. That's
Yeah,
cool. And then, how did you? Were you guys born and raised in Maine, or I know Jordan,
Massachusetts.
you're from the DR, right? So you came to Maine, or was your family from DR originally?
So my mom is originally from Massachusetts and my dad is from Dominican Republic. So me and Megan, we were just born and raised in Boston. Like we're from the South Shore, if anybody knows about
Yeah.
New England.
I love
So
it.
my family's from Nantasket Beach, which is about 40 minutes south of Boston, and then my mother is from Quincy. And then we eventually moved to Hampton Beach, which is just right up the coast. Like I said, we've always been on the ocean. And now we're in Maine.
And how'd you guys end up in Maine? Did you guys meet each other in Maine, or like what's the backstory there?
Nope. So we were friends before anything a long time ago. And then we kind of lost touch. And then we reunited. And that's when we fell in love.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, Megan, when she first moved up to Maine, she was doing kitchen cabinets, like custom cabinetry, so for a really big high end cabinetry company, and around I would say
COVID.
COVID, she was, you know, giving me that fire, that motivation to just, you know, relocate and start brand new, start a new transition in my
Mhm.
life. And, you know, I wanted to get into the home service business. You know, my dad was a contractor growing up, but I didn't have any respect for contractors because I didn't see the success in that. Um, and especially in the city, it's the struggle is it's a little bit more difficult to generate leads and to succeed unless you have the right people around. So
Right.
when I went to Maine and um, I gained all that experience with Megan, I was like, I'm just gonna stay here. I'm gonna marry this woman, and I'm gonna.
He was able to self-develop himself. We
Yes,
had no
yes,
distractions. Let's
yes.
put it that way. Massachusetts, we came to Maine. It was just me and him. We That's it. We just grinded and we learned, grinded and learned. We started building the vet before. So during the pandemic, we the company I worked for went out of business. It slowly went out of business. And I was like, you know what? Let's just rent a little place on the beach because you can find them really cheap, like a winter rental, and just
Mhm.
save all of our money. Like work, 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 and we'll buy a house. And that's what we did. I put us in there, and then we were there for about 6 months, and we just grinded. And I was pregnant, and I even found a job that I could be at home, working from home, pregnant. I worked up until I gave birth, like 1 week. And then we just saved all of our money, and that's how we bought our very first house.
Our first home.
And we bought that, and then we lived there for about a year, and then we made a little bit of money off that. We sold it, and then we came down to this area, southern Maine a little bit, and then we found a new build. We bought that. We had another kid, so we're kind of growing out of this one. We bought another house in Saco, Maine for our employees. And they rent, but it didn't turn into that. So I do rent it now, but not to employees.
So, okay. So you had bought a house for employees to rent from you, and they have a place. Oh, wow. That is so cool.
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of actually companies that do that in Maine because it's seasonal. So a lot of the restaurants do that. And I said, why, there was people struggling, needing a place to live. I said, why don't we buy a house for them? And then we did that, and it kind of backfired in our face. So I found some renters, 2 nurses. They're renting it now, but it's actually very close to the beach. I don't know how God gave me this house. It's a darling little house. It's so cute.
Yes.
And but now I think I can get a lot of money for it during the summer. So we fixed it up. I skim coated the whole thing. You could tell an Italian made that house. It's a stone house. The whole thing, my daughter calls it the rock house. So inside, all the walls were textured, the ceiling was textured, everything. There was tile everywhere. He tiled the basement. Just tile everywhere. So we ripped out all the tile, skim coated it, updated all the electricity, updated the kitchen, and now I have it as a rental. So
I love it. That's so cool. Yeah, that's my goal, is to get into real estate. Like, that's something that you buy stock, whatever. It's like, that's going to fluctuate with the market. You get a house, like, yeah, it'll fluctuate if you sell it, but overall it just keeps going up and to the right, So it's yeah, I love real estate. I love that you guys are in there, and you're building your own new house right now, right? You'd mentioned?
Yeah, super exciting. Super exciting. Yep. So we found a lot of land, about 4 acres down the street, that we are starting to build. So I'm just hashing out all the details right now with the builder. We've painted for the builder already. I know how he builds, so that's why I like him. Yeah, this house, we own it with my dad, so it's a little stressful living with family. So it's just going to be nice,
Have your own, yeah.
Yeah.
I got you. Very
Yeah,
cool.
and we're just growing as a company. I get a lot of company vehicles. I just need more room, So that's
1,000%.
yeah, that space. It's bigger. It's more acres, so it's gonna be good.
I love it. And Jordan, what are some things that you've learned along the way, right? You said that you came to Maine. It was like a lot of development and moving in that direction. Like, what's your backstory?
Just to make it short and quick, I would say, because it is long, it's been 36 years of my life. So that's a long time. Growing up, before, so your question, just to break it down a little bit, you want to know my backstory of the process of us moving to Maine and starting.
I want to know your process. Like, both of you guys are just such incredible people. I want to know, like, what's your story? Like, I know you had shared a little bit of a testament with me.
Yes.
Yeah, just tell them, babe. Tell them your story.
You got such a powerful story, and that's shaped who you are today. And
people want to know.
And it's a beautiful story, and it's, dude, when you told me, it was insane.
Hey, real quick, before we get back into the video, if you are running a painting, an epoxy, or a concrete coating business, and you're saying to yourself right now, Lucas, I am done playing it small. Lucas, I am hungry and I'm ready to grow and I'm ready to scale my business this year, then listen up. If you want my team and I to help you fix that, if you want more qualified leads into your sales pipeline, if you want more high intent appointments into your sales calendar, and if you want more high ticket jobs, shoot me a quick text at 602-833 5079, and I will personally reach out and set up a game plan to help you turn your yearly revenue into your monthly revenue and help you dominate and scale your business right now. I hope you're enjoying the video so far. I appreciate you tuning in, and I look forward to helping you scale your business this year. Let's go.
So when I was a child, when I was 6 years old, my mother lost custody of me, my little brother. My mom told me to watch him at a hotel. We were very poor, so she couldn't afford to live in her own place. So we were like from motel to motel, and he ended up burning his head on a heater, and the police was called, ambulance. I remember arriving, wondering what was going on because I went to play with my kids. Obviously, 6 years old, you don't know what's going on, but I do still remember until this day how everything happened. Me and my brother got separated through DSS. He lived a life, I lived my own life, and we ended up meeting after I was 18 years old. And it's amazing how God works because, you never know how you're gonna meet. Like, I wanted to meet my brothers and sisters, and I wanted to have them all in one room. I wanted that opportunity, and I used to pray about it every day, but it didn't happen like this. It took me years to experience that. So when it happened, I didn't realize that in the moment until I hit a brick wall.
Mm-hmm.
So my brick wall was dealing with those traumas as a young kid, very confused. My dad took custody of me, so I got the opportunity to travel back and forth because my dad was with a marriage with another woman, and obviously nobody's gonna treat your kid like the parents. So I was always sent to my grandparents' house in Dominican Republic, where it was kind of like therapy. Everybody's happy. It's an island, music, coconut trees, mangoes. You just stay busy in a backyard. And back then there was no social media, so
it was all baseball.
It was all baseball, having a great time. My grandfather was a pastor. I did not believe in the Lord. I used to question myself, like, is God really real? Because this guy keeps talking about the Lord and that there's heaven and that there's hell and all these things. And I was just very confused. I was a confused kid. Like, I was always leaning into hanging out with the bad kids. Because, I didn't have a lot of love from, the years of being away from my mother and my father. I lived in so many houses that I used to try to find love in the streets, you know? So long story short, I'm at my brother's house because my father had a child with another woman, and I was just in some place in Dominican Republic at 9 years old playing with fire. Everybody's telling me to stop. I was super rebellious. So just whoever's listening, don't give up on your kids, don't give up on your nephews or whoever you know. People change. It's just all about a process, So I'm making a fire. Everybody's telling me to stop, and it's like around noon. And a friend of mine, I don't know how he found this bottle of gasoline, but I just came up with the idea, let me pour it into the fire. And when I did that, I backed up, and suddenly my shirt I was torched on fire. So I just started running. I didn't know what to do. I knew there was a bucket, like a big tank full of water. And my brother's mom saw me running towards that tank. And she just ran towards me and threw me on the ground and shut all the fire off of me with her bare hands. Her hands got burnt. So then I stand up and I'm looking at myself, and all I see is skin melting like wax off of my arms. 80% of, it's like 70% of my body is burnt on fire. So when I stood up and I seen all these people running, because at noon in Dominican Republic, people get out of school. All the high schoolers and middle schoolers, they just saw the whole commotion and they ran towards me. And when I seen these multitudes of people running towards me, I fainted. And she just picked me up, ran me into a cab because ambulance don't get there quick.
Hmm.
And they ran me to the hospital. And I will say, Lucas, the only thing that came up to my mind was, God forgive me. God, give me a chance. Give me opportunity. I do not want to die. Give me an opportunity. And I'm screaming this, and the cab driver's listening. People near me are listening. I'm not embarrassed at all at this time. Um, it was crazy. I thought I was going to die, and I was just giving my last prayer to the Lord, like, give me a chance, give me opportunity. Long story short, they were leaving me for dead in the hospital. 5% of people out of 100, only 5 survived third-degree burns. I suffered third-degree burns, literally. Um, it was so bad that in the hospital where I was at, like dogs can go in there, people with their pets. It was not safe at all.
Hmm.
And my skin was green. I couldn't put the blanket up. I couldn't even smell myself. So that's how bad it was.
He
And
was like rotting away.
I was rotting away. And one night I woke up and my dad was right there because my dad was ready to take himself out because he just finished getting custody of me at 6. 3 years later, he sends his son to Dominican Republic, to a third world country, and then he's dying because he got burnt on a fire. So my dad was ready to take himself out, guilt, everything. And I wake up in the middle of the night. I'm not breathing. Um, my grandmother, she has this revelation. She's like, she sees like those trying to take me away, and they just start praying for me. And my father called the paramedics, and they just came in and put oxygen in me. And my dad was like, "Oh, we got to get my son out of here." And my aunt, and then they just made the move, sent me to the best hospital, best clinic in Dominican Republic. I don't know if you know David Ortiz. You know the baseball player David
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Ortiz.
yeah.
So when he had that incident where he suffered those bullet wounds, he went through a situation out there. I was in that same clinic. So they brought me there. Those are the only doctors that can take care of third-degree burns and actually deal with something like that. Obviously, my family couldn't afford for me to be there long. So the doctor checks me. They put cream on me. Every time anybody asks me, Jordan, are you okay? Are you okay? I'm like, yes, I'm okay. Very positive. Everything was like, yes, yes, yes. There was no doubt. That's why it's very important when you have faith of as small as a mustard seed, you can move mountains. It's very true because at that time, I don't remember one moment where I was like, I'm going to die. I was more worried about my father uh, putting me in punishment because I was messing with fire. You know, that's the mentality of a child. It's impressive what a human being, especially little kids, how they think. Um, so they're in the so my father and my grandmother, they're in like this room where everybody's eating, and the doctor approaches my grandmother. He's like, "Oh, Miss Deyanira, like, are you Jordan's mother?" And they're like, "No, but I'm kind of like his mother. Tell me what's going on with him." And the doctor's like, "Well, um, Jordan only has a few days to live. You better start preparing his funeral because any moment he will die." And she has so much conviction, so much faith. She was like, "Listen, the Lord that I serve through your hands, He's gonna give him 100% life, and and through you, you're gonna be able to heal this young man." And tears came out of the doctor's eyes, and he was like, you know what, just look for blood. So there was so many people in different places donating blood, because every time I went through surgery, I went through 8 surgeries, and the 8 surgeries were to take all the dead skin that was on me, because when you get burned, your skin rots away. And there was so much infection. It was really bad. Blood, sheets being changed all the time. Um, it was terrible. The pain, I can't describe it. They had internship people like working on me. It was insane. Um, my aunt introduced me to this gentleman. She's like, Jordan, you want to have this prayer with a friend of mine? And I'm like, sure. I was ready to receive whatever anybody was willing to give me, because I had faith that something positive was going to come out of the situation. He's like, Jordan, you want to repeat these few words? And I was like, yes. And I prayed with the guy, and I started repeating the words, and I felt the power of the Holy Spirit. I felt the Lord like went in me and started operating into my body. And from that day on, Lucas, my mind was different. Like resentment, hate, um, everything just went away. I was just so in love with life, and I was just so ready to just just succeed. Like I was like, wow, God is really real. Now I can move forward, because sometimes we get stuck with frustration of what has happened to us in our life, and that's like a bottleneck, for us to grow. We think about, oh, the last customer that gave us a hard time. We think about, the last mistake we did on a paint job, and we use all these comparisons to like slow us down, and we don't realize that life is not perfect. Mistakes are gonna happen. You just need to learn how to problem solve, which my wife does a really good job at doing, you know. So so that happens, and after that day, Lucas, after that day, my father receives this phone call that he saw, like his wife saw a commercial of the Shriners Hospital, and that they take care of kids, patients with third-degree burns, all for free. They reach out, and they send a private airplane to go pick me up, like 2 days later. Rescued me from Dominican Republic, brought me to Boston.
Back to Boston.
Back to Boston, Shriners Hospital, and that was history. From there on, I will say, Lucas, um, I knew, I knew God was real, and God spoke to me through so many people. And um, growing up as a kid, obviously, you have a lot of confusion. Still, you're trying to find yourself, and God's telling me the big things that God's gonna be doing in my life, where I'm gonna be able to reach people and tell my story. And it was so divine, because me and Megan decided to open up Putnam Coastal Painting. And the reason why I use this story about what God did in my life was because when you open up a business, it's all about faith. You don't have nothing. You start from zero. No clients, no before and afters,
No good name,
no
no
name.
reputation.
We didn't have help from our parents. Nothing was given to us. We're not from Maine. We had to start from zero. Megan had the experience with cabinets. I was already working high-end painting from amazing painter, but he was a great coach. I come from the city. It's very urban in the South End, near I don't know if you're familiar with the South End. That's like next to South Boston.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's very rough. I never had the opportunity to be in the suburbs like that. So when I came to Maine and I seen these houses, I didn't feel worthy to go into these places, because I never had the chance to do that, or my eyes to see, or just smell this environment of success, because most of our clients are like 70 years, 60 to 70. They're retired. They're people that already put in the work. They accomplish things. So
Yeah.
me,
They
so
always say to me and Jordan, they're like, I remember when I was you guys' age. Me and my wife, because you know, a lot of these people, they start businesses with their wives. You know, they crushed life with their wife.
so I had this young gentleman, clean cut, actually from Canada. The builders here, they're amazing. Oh my
They're all
God.
Canadian.
Super disciplined, sharp guy, great in sales, great painter, super
Perfectionist.
perfectionist. He didn't want nobody to put his tools in the van. He's putting his tools in the van. Like clean cut guy. Like I'm talking about everything about this guy he was like the superstar of painters. I compare him of like the Idaho painter. If he was to ever do something, I tell him all the time, like, bro, you should be a coach or something because he can clone people. Like I was like, man, I'm gonna follow this dude and I'm gonna learn everything. I'm gonna learn everything he does from the outside to the inside. Like I learned everything when it came to prep, everything. So it was a blessing. And he used to see me every day like, Jordan, why are you smiling so much? Why are you happy all the time? Like he was trying to figure me out. And I'm like, man, don't you see that I get the opportunity to be in these homes, be in these places? As long as I can be close and I can be in the proximity of these people in these homes, I'm going to be able to know what it feels to live this lifestyle.
I love it, dude.
You know, I'm going to islands, painting houses. So it got to the point where me and Megan, we bought our first home. Um, the pandemic, all this hit, things were getting difficult. They went up on our rent, everything. I'm like, I need to make the next move. I always had the business owner mentality due to living in the city, being a hustler. Like I was just always in hustle mentality in the city, like, you know, just to try to get on top. Uh, and long story short, I told the guy, it's weird because I told the guy, I'm like, listen, like, I know you can't pay me more than what you're offering me right now, but I need to give you my 15 days notice right now because I'm about to blow up. I told him, I'm like, listen, you see me, you hear my story. I already shared my story to you. And you know, God gave me opportunity to live so I could connect. Sorry.
You got this, brother.
God kept me and Megan alive so we can connect with you people who are listening to us right now. There's this scripture that says, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything will be added to your life. Me and Megan, everything we have done, we have put God first. Even before having kids, we got married. We made sure that it was divine. It was planned. Our daughter's name was planned 2 years before we had her. We already knew her name. I already had the vision of how she was going to look like. I already knew she was going to have red hair. Everybody's like, where did she get the red hair? I already had it in here. I mean, genes, all that stuff happens, but it's amazing how God works. We have a beautiful family, and it's amazing how it happened after my 30s, you know. All the struggles I went through, all the struggles Megan went through. People think like being like there has to be some type of preparation. The same way we prep houses before we paint, The same way your life needs to be prepared before you get into business, because it's a cold world. It's not easy. Um, we went into business with faith because we knew God was going to provide. God was going to give us our daily bread. It wasn't nothing else. The first check I get from a job, I bought my first equipment, my first ladders. Then the second job came in, the third job came in, the fourth job came in, and then I just ended up um, quitting a part-time job that I took because the painting company that I was working for didn't want me to take days off. So I said, here's my 15-day notice. I'm going to go to this company, a factory where I was working 1 week, 3 days, another week, 4 days. And those 4 days that I had free, I was doing painting projects, even on Sundays. And then when I had my schedule all filled,
that's how I made him do it.
and I used
Remember?
to, at that time, I used to listen to you. I used to listen to Tanner Miller. And he used to talk about how to run your painting business and what you need to do to be able to. Man, these days, there's so much opportunity. Now, 2026, there's so much opportunity. When I was in high school or getting out of high school, these things didn't even exist. Like a contractor to be able to like hit the numbers and like to succeed the way now like this generation of people are succeeding, like you could even like this wasn't even spoken about. So when I got into these groups of hearing these podcasts that you guys were offering, there was so much value. I was like, man, Tanner talks about the Lord. He talks about how he cares about people. And sometimes we get in the greed of money. We think about, getting on top, and we forget about that what we're doing is we're helping people. We're it's a home-based service business. We're actually transforming people's homes like God transformed my life. You know, some of these historic homes, I see the homeowners, they keep the original stuff, and we just we do a really good job prepping, but they like to keep the character.
Right.
So, that's what we did, and to not get out of topic, all that information helped me get my business to the next step. That he's like, oh, Lucas Jensen, that's the guy you need to reach out to. Like that, this is the guy that has helped Premium Painting or his company and all that stuff. I could still remember the words, and I was like, let me reach out to this guy. Yeah, he's Canadian. I'm like, I only received really great experience with people from Canada, because in Massachusetts, you don't meet Canadians. I never met one.
It's because our hockey teams are too strong. They don't want us down there, dude.
No, you guys do. You guys live a really great life, and when I came to Maine, I had good mentors. It wasn't intentional; it was just naturally. And I appreciate you if you're watching me and you're hearing this. Thank you for the opportunity. But yeah, like we went all in. Me and Megan, we had a lot of persecution going on because we have family members. How are you going to leave a good paying job to go on business on your own? We didn't make it. We didn't do it.
No. You're just going to give up your health care, and you're going to give up, your benefits. And that was like from my dad. He was saying that. But I have a lot of business owners in my family, like my uncles and stuff. And they were like, Megan, it's a no-brainer. Just quit. My Uncle Joe, he was like, just quit. He was like, you need to do the sales. Jordan needs to run production. And then the wheels started to turn for me, and I was like, you know what? Like, I can't, let me just quit. I quit my job. I quit. And then I was in Putnam Coastal Painting every day.
The best salesperson that ever existed in the state of Maine. I will say she's a killer. And no, one thing we started posting content. I mean, I do highly recommend do your content as well because Lucas Jensen can do so much with his marketing. But if you're not pouring into your business, if you're not putting in the work that's needed to be able to have those people who click on the button, see the quality of work you do, see the thing, you're not gonna grow as fast as Putnam Coastal Painting. I mean, we hit the same like the same numbers 2 years in a row. When I was in my 20s, I thought making $1 million was so far away, you know. And then you get into these rooms and you see people that age doing 2, 3, 4, you know. So sky's
More,
the
10.
limit, you know. There's no limit to what you can do. It's just all about being a sponge, taking advice, wanting to be around good people that just loves God, loves people, and honestly, the first year that me and Megan worked in Putnam Coastal Painting, it was for free. Like we were just doing things to help people. We were in the business to help. And I think that's what helped us grow so fast.
Yeah. Yeah, 1,000%. I mean, like, dude, you guys touched on the fact of like the vision. Like you said, you saw your daughter's hair before, like you even without the genetics, without knowing, like you saw that vision so clearly. And there's that saying that says like, you know, about God's plan, God's plan, God's plan, God's plan, right? We hear that so often. But the reason is like we try to rush things so much, right? Like we're at 500,000, we want to get to 1 million. Now we're at 1 million, we want to get to 3 million. We want to get to 5, we want to get to 10, we want to get to 100, right? But that the reason that hasn't happened yet is because God knows that if he gave that to you, it'd break you. Right. So he's only going to give it to you when you're ready to, and that comes from leadership, that comes from development, that comes from serving people, that, you know what I mean? And the reason we don't have the businesses that we want is because of us. All right. And like I said, God knows that if he gave it to us, it would break us. Right. Imagine you had $10 million of production and you'd be like, oh, how would I even manage this? Right. We all want a $10 million company. We all want a $5 million. We all want a $1 million company, but we're not set up for it. And God knows that if he gave that to us, it would break us. It would kill our reputation. It would kill our momentum. It would kill everything, right? So it's like, it's coming, right? As long as you just stay consistent with it and obviously trust him and have faith in him. Like you said, you know, the faith the size of a mustard seed can move mountains, you know, and it's really all about faith. And it's all about keeping that faith and keeping that positivity, because as business owners, we deal with so much fire. There is so much fires to put out. There's this problem and that problem. And it's so easy to get in your own head, you know, and I'm sure you have days where you're just like, why am I even doing this? You know what I mean? But then you also have days you're like, this is literally the best thing ever. But it's always being able to pull back that gratitude of like, I quit my job. I went all in on this. It is working. We're allowed to have bad moments, but not bad days, you know, and just keeping that faith strong and keeping that momentum strong. And you guys have built an incredible company. You're going to continue building an incredible company. You're expanding down. You're in Hamptons Beach now, right? I believe you went from Sanford
Yes.
to
Hampton, right.
You're spreading across the coast and you're taking over just territory by territory. And, you know, you guys both have different stories, but you're on the same mission together. And I love how you guys just, you know, you diversify the roles and responsibilities that you guys have. Like Megan, you're a killer closer. Jordan, you're like one of the best managers of production, managers of the team that I've ever seen. And it's like together you guys are just so uniform and cohesive with each other, and you guys are just going to build an empire. And I'm all for it.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the goal. And after speaking with Ben Jordan this past week, like my goals are even way bigger than they were, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I meet somebody and I'm like, wow, I like that about them. I want to be like that. Or how did they do that? How did they get there? And then that's kind of like how the dream starts, right? like what Jordan was talking about before, everything that me and Jordan have done, I've written down and made lists of everything. It could be anything. I'm a lister. I just make lists, and that's what I go by, and I do it. Um, when you have two people, like a wife and a husband, that have a dream and a vision together, it's like it's different when one person is over here manifesting a dream. But when you have two people manifesting one dream, it's like it's 5 times faster. You get to the end 5 times faster than one person. So that's why we've been able to just level up every single year. I mean, every year it's like we're doing something bigger, better, badass. So,
Um, Another thing that I have learned in this whole process of being a part of the Forum Media marketing team, Putnam Coastal Painting, is, I will say, be intentional with the content you do. Be intentional with everybody. Like, really, really be caring about people. Um, Ever since I met Lucas, he has added value every Wednesday, always trying to bring somebody positive up to speak to us, to mentor us. Like, the small minded people might not see it, but anybody who's doing big things can realize. I mean, ever since I started surrounding myself, like when we went to PaintCon, that opened up our brain even way further
yeah.
than where our mind was before, because we realized, wow, we're our bottlenecks. Like, we're the ones slowing ourselves down
Mm-hmm.
because we're going with traumas and past experience, and we're not trying to give people an opportunity. And meeting Joe Mercado, having these great mentors, Andy Elliott. I'm part of the brotherhood. I'm just very grateful to be, part of that as well. It's been a blessing. It has built me up to be a better father, to be a really good coach, to husband and coach to our team players, because eventually they'll be the next painting company.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be the next people up in the roster to do great things. And they're doing it with us right now. And I just have the mindset of abundance. Like, what can I do to help somebody make it to the next level? Like,
Yeah.
now it's not about me anymore. It's like, or my wife or my kids. It's more about what can we do for others, and the more we start doing that, the more free we are. You know,
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
a thousand
it,
percent. And dude, like we all have, our own traumas. We all have our own baggage. We all have, like, I was talking to some guy at the PCA Expo, and he's like, yeah, my business is struggling right now. I'm going through divorce. I'm going through all this stuff. And it's like people in his market might see him as a competitor, but at the end of the day, like, we all have our own shit. Nobody's playing at 100%. No, you might have, a new dog and that keeps you up at night. You might have a fight with your spouse and that's bothering you and you're not playing fully. Like, nobody's playing at 100%. We all have our own traumas. We all have our own stuff happening in our life. But at the end of the day, it's like you could either feel bad for yourself, or you could do something about it and fix it, because you can't be a victim and a victor at the same time.
Yeah,
sure.
how I like to look at that topic is, like God, right? He talks of, like, he's the potter and you're the clay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, even diamonds, they're made by pressure, right? An edge is made by how many different that's how character is made. So I mean, I've been through the trenches, but I wake up, I'm happy. I strive to be a better mom. I strive to be a better business owner. I I don't think of those things that I went through as, I don't even think about it. But it definitely made me a strong woman. It
Yeah.
made me a strong person. Um yeah, and I don't have that victim mentality. Like, I don't even want to hear it. If I'm next to somebody and I'm hearing like, "Oh, I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul," and I can't, I'm struggling. I literally need to get the heck away from you. I just can't. I'm not like that. I mean, I went through everything. I don't talk like that,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's important. The way you talk to yourself and how you talk is going to play into your success. You know, when you have that a negative tone, talking about negative things all the time, you're just going to draw negativity.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's like you ever wake up, you stub your toe, or you turn the shower on, you hop in and it's cold water and you're like, oh my God, it's going to be such a bad day. And then it ends up being a bad day. You're like, I knew it. It's like, yeah, well, because you went in with those intentions, right?
Yeah.
But then you wake up on your birthday on a random Tuesday. It's cold, it's rainy. You're like, today's going to be the best day ever though. It's like, yeah, of course that's going to happen, because it's like, that is your intention going into it, right? Like,
Right.
it's literally all from up here. You know, the
Right.
conversations you have with yourself are everything.
Yep. I truly believe that. I believe that God makes you go through certain situations in life to build you and to mold you.
Yeah.
And
And
and having that discernment and that connection with God, that's the only way that you're gonna know when He's guiding you, you know, and having that relationship with Him.
Yeah, and I mean, like looking back, like we all have made mistakes, right? But a lot of those mistakes have led us up to where we are now. So when I look back at some of the mistakes I've made, I was like, I wouldn't change that for anything. Like, I'm happy I went through that. I'm happy God put me through that, because I am where I am now because of that, right? And you are where you are going to be because of the actions you make today. So it's I love that. I love that about you guys. You guys got the right mindset. You got the right head on your shoulders, and you're going big places. And the growth you've had is incredible, but it's nowhere near as close to what's going to be coming. So I'm just super excited for you guys. Now, let me ask the both of you one question, because the thing I love about both of you is you guys have the same vision, but you have sometimes different perspectives. So I want to ask the both of you, if you could tell younger Megan or younger Jordan one single piece of advice, what would that be? Like, if you could go back when you started this thing and you just give your younger selves one single piece of advice, what would that be?
You want me to start?
Yeah, you can go.
God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth.
More than you speak.
Listen.
More than you speak.
Yeah.
Yes, because like sometimes us as painters, we got things figured out. I work with many talented painters. Like, I'm talking about like the all-star of painters, like from different states, came to Maine. We all work together. I'm talking about houses like we're in there for 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all they
Extreme.
can do. That's it. It's just
But-
paint, you know.
But they're, the worst bottleneck is, knowing it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's like you said, like, you don't want to be the smartest person in the room. You don't want to be the best player on a team. You want to be the worst. And that way you have an opportunity to level up and see the next level.
It's so funny because the smartest person in the room is usually the brokest.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for me, what would I tell myself? Don't ever give up on yourself. Don't give up. You're doing great. Because I feel like I grew up without a mom and pretty much a dad. I mean, they were they battled with drugs, you know, so I didn't have the best guidance, you know. And I needed to hear sometimes that I'm doing good, you know, to keep going. You know, Megan, you're doing the right thing. Like, keep it going. So that would have been nice to hear. I feel like, you know,
Yeah.
you're doing great. Just you know, keep strong. Just keep being strong, Megan. Because sometimes I feel like I'm the glue. And running a business, sometimes you just feel deflated or defeated. And, you know, I tell Jordan, like, I can't, let's just go to sleep right now and then we'll wake up like happier, you know, let's just get some rest. And I wish I just had someone to be like, Megan, you're doing great. Like, you know, kind of center me, you know, just just keep going and keep giving everything the same strength you're doing. Probably would have been all I needed, you know. But God gave that to me.
You are doing great though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But if I would tell myself that, you know, like, Megan, you're doing great.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
For sure. I mean, like, sometimes we're our own worst enemies by the conversations that we have with ourselves, right? And we fill ourselves with doubt. We second guess ourselves, and sometimes you just gotta go with your gut, just trust it and lean into it more than anything. So
Yeah.
I love that. I love that, guys. And tell me a little bit more. Last little bit before we wrap up. Give me, what is something, a current weakness that you have spotted that you are going to fix and solve in 2026?
Like in the business or personally?
You tell me whichever one you're leaning towards. Whichever one's sitting heavy on you right now. What is something that you think you'd want to work on? Either personal, professional, anything.
You hear Jedi crying in the
I have one. So delegating.
Can I grab her?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, our daughter, she's has a lot of energy. Yes. So I will say that delegating is very important. Like right now, we're in a situation where we're hitting these numbers, but 2 years in a row, it gets kind of exhausted. Like you burn out.
Yep.
So then you get to the point where you're like, okay, if we can predict the numbers, why not delegate to have people handle these positions so we can continue to do better numbers?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just one person can only do so much. And I feel like we're at the point where we already put so many people in place in our company that now it's time to just hire some rock stars, some killers in every position so we can focus on the growth and the customer service,
the scaling,
and giving people the Putnam Coastal Painting experience every single time. That it's not just we're doing numbers, we're doing jobs, we're busy. No, we're really doing what we always have done from the beginning. You know.
Right now, that's
where we are.
We're doing so much of our business is repeat customers. Right now, I'm doing a project. We've done the outside of our house. We've painted sections of our inside. This is like our 5th job just in one customer just this week, and it's all the time. Where we always have, and I think that stands out. Like for me, that stands out for myself. Like we got repeat people calling us back over and over and over, referring us to their friends. Telling me we offer a good service, and we want to be your painter for a long time. You know, people want to have familiar faces, not random people in their house, you know, all the time. So I think that's important, and that definitely stands out to me. Like we're doing something right, you know.
Yeah. Well, Tommy Mello has a core value in his company is like, if we're not getting referred to the customer's mother, we didn't do a good enough job. Right. And it's like, you think of it, it's like, you know, you wouldn't refer someone bad to your mom, you refer someone good, right? So that level of referral is huge there for sure. Yep. And that's a testament to you guys as leaders and producers and fulfillers and customer services and, you know, and sales rep, because proper expectation setting. And you guys are incredible. And yeah, you guys, anybody listening, I highly recommend you guys reach out to Jordan and Megan. They're just incredible people. And, you know, as you can hear from their testament and their stories, they're here to help, right? Obviously, they're here to grow and build the business, but they're also here to help. And they're 2 people that will not hold back in the sense of like, they'll pour into you, just like they've poured into everyone in this, listening to this podcast and everyone that you've ever really interacted with at PaintCon or at FMM and everything. Like, you guys are just incredible people. So make sure to go hit them up. Even check out their social stuff. They've been popping off with the organics. It's Putnam Coastal Painting, at Putnam Coastal Painting on Instagram, right?
Yep, Putnam Coastal Painting. Right now, we're currently working on a book. We're going to be publishing it in August.
Let's go. Let's go.
Just so you know, August, I I just had a spiritual awakening where I got to the point where I was like, in a funeral, and I saw I was that person, and that person lost his opportunity to go to heaven, and the reason and what I got out of it is like Andy says a lot. This is his quote, so I'm gonna just borrow that real quick. He says, God's gonna put you in a place where He's gonna be like, "Hey, you could have been this person or this person, and this is you." And I don't want to be that person. Like, I know what God designed me and Megan to be. We don't want to get to the finish line and then God's like questioning us, like, "Hey, why didn't you do what I taught you?"
Mm.
I don't want to be that person. So when I woke up sweating bullets and that woman was like, "Jordan, you're not going to share your story? You're not going to share your testimony?" Oh, man. I knew what that meant to me. And all I would say is do what you're called to do. And I'm just here to serve people, make customers happy. And I will say we're on Putnam Coastal Painting, and you can look us up. And yeah, that's what's coming up soon. You have anything to share, babe?
No.
Love it. Love it. Well, you guys are awesome. I'm excited to read that book and get my hands on one of those copies, man. So I'm just so proud of you guys. You guys are killing it, and can't wait to see your ongoing growth. Everyone else listening, thank you for tuning in. Definitely reach out to Jordan and Megan and stay connected with them because they're great people, and you definitely want them in your circle.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.